Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Today we have the Icegolem Turn Attack Tournament for Undead Horde. So this is actually a pretty good faction for Icegolem specifically. If you're wanting to do the hard stages, HP burn works amazing. Poisons are pointless, but on normal, poisons are very good and HP burn is also very good. So if you're doing hard, you really have Crypt King Grawl. Outside of Crypt King, you don't have a ton of options if you want it to be any reasonable time whatsoever. However, if you drop it back to normal, stages 24, 25, or 20, then you have Crypt King Grawl, you have Battle Khazar, you have Urost, you have UDK, you have Vlad, you have really any champion who you want to use, throw them in a toxic set if they don't bring poisons, and they're going to do it. It's very, very easy. And then easy if you have the gear, of course. And in the epics, we have res champions, Gore Grab, increased turn meter, increased attack, Seeker with some increased attack to help you speed up the waves, Dark Elhain can actually help you get through the waves as well. Very solid champion for that. We have various different champions to help you stay alive. Mausoleum Mage, cleansing, a little bit of heals as well. So a few options there. And then when you come down to the rares, you have one standout champion who, if you get her to the boss and she's properly geared, she can handle the boss by herself. Frozen Banshee. She places a poison sensitivity, and then her A1 ability has a chance of placing 2 poisons. Basically means that, hey, you get her to the boss, no War Master allowed, no War Master really period in Icegolem because you get the big slam, and it's going to be kind of difficult to survive that. So get her to the boss, have a presser, load them up with poisons, and you're going to be good to go. Now, I'm going to go in here and show you guys the first team. I want to show you guys a stage 20 team, a stage 24 team, a 25 team, and a stage hard 1 team. A few different options, so no matter where you are, you can do this stuff. Now, Icegolem used to be a dungeon where people said, hey, this dungeon is not good. This dungeon is one of the worst dungeons to farm. The gear is awful. Don't do it. However, that could not be further from the truth. Icegolem is now probably one of the best dungeons to farm. Honestly, if Dragon used to be the best, I'd say Dragon is now the lowest because you have Perception gear. Dragon's not really great outside of the 3x speed for most players, and Icegolem has definitely taken its spot as one of the best dungeons. I think for PvE content, especially in-game stuff, like Hydra specifically, Icegolem is the best. I mean, Fire Knight is the best for PvP. Also has some very good PvE sets as well. But as far as Curse set, Provoke set, those two specifically, and Reflex set, Icegolem is just fantastic. So make sure you're farming your Icegolem. It's going to help you get into those higher levels of Hydra very easily, especially Curse. I mean, Hex is so incredible now. It's going to help you out so much. So once we get to the actual Icegolem, I'm going to go ahead and edit past the whole Icegolem shenanigans because it's probably going to be about 2 minutes. We'll see. We'll see how fast it's going. This stage may be fine, but some of like the Crypt King Grawl stuff, it's not really worth just sitting here and making this video 20 minutes long because these matches aren't going to be super fast. When you drop War Master and you drop most of your champion's damage, the runs become relatively slow. Now you guys saw from the beginning, this team has no presets. We do have some food champions. Make sure if you have food champions, you're using Undead Horde, because if you throw in a bully from the Barbarians, I think it's where he's at. I don't know. Either way, if you throw in a bully or throw in something else, well, you're not going to get your points for the tournament. You got to make sure all the food champions are Undead Horde. We got a slam. He survives it fine. Even if it crits, it's like 20k. So he still survives it no problem. But this is going to be a decent speed. Let me go ahead and just skip past this. It's boring stuff anyways. You guys don't need to see this. All right, so the Icegolem stage 20. Oh, we picked up some champion training points as well. This is actually perfect. Vlad, 2 minutes and 28 seconds, 109 turns, 26 points somewhere, and then 36 points somewhere else. Either way, very solid team. Let's go check out his build real quick. So as far as Vlad's build goes, he's in Toxic gear. Make sure you put him in Toxic. If not, the poisons not being there are going to make your run take forever. So clicking through his gear real quick just so you guys can see this, and then I'll show his actual stats. But he's wearing crit rate gloves, accuracy chest plate. Honestly, HP percentage or something would probably be better. Defense percentage, something. His bottom pieces, he has a crit damage necklace, kind of questionable, but it is what it is. As far as his actual stats go for Icegolem specifically, we have okay HP. Defense is kind of low. Speed is good. 100% crit rate. Crit damage, don't push it super high because if you proc the Icegolem Slam, it's going to be a bad day. As far as accuracy and resistance, come over here to the Hellheady's website, go to Raid Shadow Legends, and then Raid Stages tool. This is going to show you the accuracy and resistance needed for whatever stage you're doing. So in stage 20 normal, accuracy is 200 for the boss. We're going to need 305 resistance. The boss has 200 resistance, so we're going to need 225 accuracy. You can do this for any stage, so make sure whatever stage you're doing, you have the proper stats to actually place your debuffs or resist their debuffs. So that was the first team. The second team is going to be Bad El-Khazar on stage 25. Now, before I do that, I do want to mention something. Boozer, another content creator, I'll leave his channel link down below in the video specifically, did a video showcasing Frozen Banshee as well as Vlad doing stage 24. Now, this build is going to be a little difficult. I wasn't quite able to pull it off, and it wouldn't be very consistent if I did. But go check out this video. He'll talk about the team. He'll break it down. Definitely showcases Frozen Banshee. Very solid. She's an awesome champion. Very good in normal stages of Icegolem as well as Dragon. So definitely go check that out. But as far as stage 25, we're going to be using Bad El-Khazar alongside some food champions. So he's currently not in any specific build, which I will show after this. However, this is going to be a little bit of a long run, to be honest. I'm not really sure if it's worth even sticking around through the waves. The boss isn't going to be that bad because what you have going on here is Bad El just constantly placing continuous heals. He's staying alive. He's strong affinity on stage 25, so there's not really a ton of chance in him dying. And I've done a video on 100% successful, I believe, Bad El soloing stage 25, Icegolem as well as Dragon, I believe. So maybe I'll try to leave that link down below. If not, I'm sure you could find it on the channel. So if you want to see that build, check it out. This is one I just now slapped on him. But Bad El's a unique champion in the sense that he places tons of continuous heals on himself. So you don't need regeneration. You don't need Immortal on him necessarily. You just need to survive. I've seen it in Reflex. I've seen it in Relentless. I've seen it in Stalwart. I've seen it in, well, he's currently in Immortal plus Perception, I think. So there's tons of different options you can use when it comes to Bad El doing this stage of Icegolem. Now, once you get into hard mode, he becomes basically irrelevant because in hard mode, poisons do nothing to the actual Icegolem. Even as we're getting kind of closer, it's fine because they're not going to crit because we're Force Affinity. They have 15% crit rate, so we don't have to worry about crits coming through. It's really just, hey, it's going to be a slow burn of poisons over the course of the actual entire fight. But once we get to the Icegolem, things should be fine. Like I said, I have a video on my channel with it 100% consistent. So this build is probably going to be the one I'm using until it fails. And if it does fail, then I'm just going to swap it over to the 100% successful build, 100% safe one. But this is just to showcase how easy, relative to other solo champions, Bad El is to build. He brings so much stuff to his kit that just makes it simple. No regeneration, none of that stuff actually needed. So I'm going to go ahead and just skip past this, get to the Icegolem a little bit later into his HP because this is kind of boring to watch. So I'll be right back. All right, so we're coming up on the very end of that run. No issues through the waves or the actual Icegolem. 3 minutes and 9 seconds, 154 turns. So it's not the fastest. You can definitely make this a lot faster. My Bad El is seemingly pretty slow for this run for whatever reason. But either way, you can make this faster. You can make it lower turns. But it is a solo option. Or you could bring in champions to get through the waves a little bit quicker. You could bring in champions like a Husk. You could bring in champions to do actual damage to the waves on your way. You could bring in Dark Elhain. All kinds of different champions. A Rotos. Who knows? You have unlimited options to bring in. Well, limited to Undead Horde, I guess. But you have tons of different options. Bring them in if you want. Get to the actual Icegolem, make it a faster run, but this kind of gets the best of both worlds. You have the Undead Horde specifically, you're leveling food champions, and you got a very safe, very consistent runtime. Now, next up is going to be showing his gear and then going into hard mode. Now, this hard mode, I've not actually tested, so it's very much, hey, run this at your own risk, but everything that I'm thinking seems to make sense as far as this actually working. I am going to be actually watching it for the first time right here with you guys. So this build right here for Bad El-Khazar, this one is tested. This is fine. So like I said, I also have the video on my channel where I test a ton of these runs. So we have good HP. The defense honestly could be pushed up to 33, 3,500, somewhere around there. The speed is pretty good. Accuracy and resistance are on point. Everything's fully booked, of course. I'll show you guys that in just a moment. But he's in Immortal plus Perception. If you went Immortal plus Defiant, if you went Immortal fully, if you went Reflex, if you went Relentless, all kinds of different sets could make this even better. But this is fine the way it is. Blessings, I don't have anything, so nothing's needed. As far as masteries, there we go. Those are his masteries, picking up some extra speed wherever we can, from killing people, from our allies dying, and from placing debuffs, extra turn meter. So now, as far as the next stage, stage 1 hard. This one does need presets. Nothing else I've used really needed presets because Bad El does his stuff whenever he wants. He does stuff correctly. However, Crypt King Grawl does not. So Crypt King Grawl, these are his presets, round 1, round 2, and round 3. We really want to make sure that he's having the A2 ability available each time. We're doing stage 1 hard because it's a little bit easier to actually gear for. Stages 5 and stages 9, I'm sure, are possible. but the gear requirements are a lot higher, and R-Tac's just better. So I'm using R-Tac during any other time, and I don't feel like switching the gear. Though I guess I could put R-Tac's gear on Crypt King Grawl, and that may actually make stage 5 work. Stage 9, I don't see it working because R-Tac struggles with that one. Plus, he has Elva, and R-Tac places decreased attack. Crypt King Grawl does, but it's not consistent. Because Crypt King is a single target, and he doesn't just put it on the Ice Golem, he places it wherever he wants, whereas R-Tac is AoE. Now it should work out fine. Like Ice Golem stage 1 hard, let's go ahead and check this out real quick. Let's compare some of the stages actually. While this is running in the background, we'll just compare some stuff. He's not going to die on these waves. There's like 0% chance that he's going to die on the waves. But stage 1 hard, comparing this, the accuracy, the speeds, everything like that, 95 speed. So you're much easier to go before the Ice Golem. You're going to see the comparison in just a moment. But 315 resistance, 225 accuracy, which I'm not for sure if I have those numbers. I may actually need to check that. But as far as the stage 9, so 95 speed compared to 215 speed. As you can see, one's a lot easier than the other. 420 resistance, 330 accuracy. But even dropping it down to stage 5, it's still going to be pretty difficult. Not nearly as difficult as stage 9, 115 speed, 360 resistance, 270 accuracy. So it's still pretty difficult. But in general, it's not nearly as hard as stage 1. And guess what? Stage 1 is better than stage 25. So if you have Crypt King Grawl, maybe he's been chilling in your vault for a long time, guess what? Go ahead and get him out because he is going to be, I believe, the only champion to allow stages, anything in hard mode, to actually work during this tournament. So if you have a Crypt King Grawl, you have an advantage over everybody else because nobody else is going to work. There are some rare champions with HP burn, but let's be honest, you're not bringing those rare champions into hard mode Ice Golem and actually expecting anything good to happen from that. So this is going to be faster than Battle Khazar, but the Ice Golem, this is going to be where it's actually, does this work? Let's see, we burn everything. I hope we resist stuff. I actually didn't check the accuracy, but you got to make sure we don't have War Master because one War Master proc will ruin this run most likely. Possibly. I don't know. He shouldn't crit me because we are Magic Affinity. He is Spirit. He's going to have 15% less crit rate basically. And down here, he only has 15%. So we should be safe. We should be safe from the crits. Everything should be fine. We're going to see in just a moment, though, I guess. Let's go find it out. So everything's going smooth, though. I mean, 178 turns, definitely not the fastest. But guess what? The same thing with the other stages. You can throw in another champion, get you a lower turn count. This is a relatively fast run. So if you throw in a champion like Dark Elhain for the waves, throw in a champion like Battle Khazar, he can work through the waves. He can place his poisons. Everything's fine. But then when he gets to the Ice Golem, he's just going to die. So Battle Khazar plus Crypt King Grawl going to get you through the waves a little bit quicker. Everything's going to be fine. 199 turns. I hope this was for the champion training because that's a low amount of points. I think it is. 37 points, though, for the actual event. Pick up a chest plate. Provoke set. Hey, it's kind of nice. But either way, definitely 37 points for that. So let's check out Crypt King Grawl's gear. He's currently in Regeneration plus Perception. His resistance and accuracy numbers are, let's see, 369 and 318. I think that is good. So 315 resistance. Okay, we are good there. Perfect. We could actually have a little bit less accuracy as well. So as far as his numbers, we have Regeneration plus Perception. We have okay HP. Defense is a spot that I actually like it. Speed could be a little bit higher, but it's perfectly fine against a 95 speed Ice Golem. We have good accuracy and good resistance. As far as the actual pieces go, let's click through them real quick. Obviously, we don't have crazy speeds. Not much for Ascensions. Everything's fine there. HP, everything on the bottom, basically. This can be a filler piece, defense, accuracy, resistance, whatever you need to hit higher stats for. And as far as his skills go, everything's fully booked, of course. We have him in the lead spot, so we get the HP aura also. And then I have this. This is pretty cool because this decreases the damage the champion receives from the Ice Golem slam, basically. But it's whenever enemy skills are activated by other skills or when they inflict damage when it's not their turn. AKA, when the Ice Golem does his big slam, this should reduce that damage by 5%, which anything extra we can get is going to be sweet. Now, we don't have many chances to actually proc that. These are the masteries. No War Master, none of that stuff, because then you're just going to be proccing the big slams. And I'm not trying to gamble if I survive or if I die. So we're running Oppressor. We're running all the typical speed boosting masteries, some counterattack stuff as well, because if you can counterattack the Ice Golem, it's going to be great because you do place a decreased attack, which will help you out a little bit later in the fight, possibly, though he does cleanse his stuff, so who knows if it actually is going to help. You need to make sure your Crypt King Grawl is built with especially high HP because the Ice Golem ignores defense when both the minions are up with that big slam. So the big slam is going to be the most risky thing. It's going to ignore defense if both the minions are up. So make sure you have plenty of HP. Mine may even be too low. Honestly, 75 or 80,000 HP is probably going to be what you wanted to shoot for. Also, make sure you have resistance and accuracy as well, because if he places a heal reduction on you, it's going to be a bad day. But as far as what team you can use, guys, we have teams for basically any stage you would want to do. If you want to move to stage 5 or stage 9 hard mode, you may have to build your champions a little bit better, but either way, it's going to be relatively achievable. So we have stage 25, we have stage 20, we have some options for stage 24 from Boozer's video. We have stage 1 hard. Tons of different options, guys. Jump in here, build your champions. If you really want to go for it, go UDK, throw them in Toxic Gear, and now you have a slow but doable, probably stage 20, maybe stage 25 team. It's going to be difficult either way, but you do have some options there. But guys, thank you all very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you all in the next one.